everyone. Thanks for joining us here on Mom Squad. I'm Maureen Kyle, and this is a show where we talk all things parenting, and this one is a big one. Spring break, it's right around the corner, and it's just about anything but a break for parents. Whether you're struggling to find childcare for your kids or you're planning a family trip, it can be really stressful. So we are turning to the experts today to help make things a little easier. First, I'm going to introduce you to my co-host, Jenny Jordan, who talked to a fashion consultant. I always struggle with, what do I wear on spring break? I don't know about you.
Right.
Or if I go on vacation or something.
You know, a lot of people, if you live up north, you have your sweaters and your sweatshirts out, and all of a sudden you got to bring out shorts and tank tops and the dreaded bathing suits.
Right.
You know, and so it's sort of, and then I'm like, is this even in style anymore? Does it even fit? I mean, and then it's not just you. You're packing for the whole family.
I know, and I always think like, okay, so wait, what did I have? It's been a year since spring and since summers. Like, so what did I have? What got ripped? What got stained? Which flip-flops got torn up and ruined?
Right.
So I'm always struggling with, what do I have? And how do I pack it all? And all of that.
And then depending on where you go, you know, and where you live, where you go, it's sort of like, no matter what, it's still only spring. So it could rain, it could snow, it could not snow in Florida, but you know, it could be still really cold. So you got to kind of think of what all you're packing. But luckily, Hallie Abrams joined me and talked not just about fashion, but about the things that you can actually, how to pack better and what you should be thinking about when you're getting those suitcases ready.
Spring break is stressful for moms. It really is, because we're not only responsible for ourselves, but we're responsible for everybody else. Very often our spouses as well, right? It's not just the kids, it's everybody in the house.
Right.
So I like to think about putting on your air mask first, or your oxygen mask first, so taking care of yourself, and then we can use the same rules and apply it to everybody else in the house, right? Right. So I like to look at where you're going, what your itinerary is, right? Putting things out according to activity when you're packing, so that way you don't have a bunch of going out at night clothes, but nothing, you know, to go to the beach or to exercise or whatever your activities are gonna be. Right. So think about it that way. Think about if you're going to have a washer and dryer, right? Because you don't need to pack 10 pairs of underwear if you're going for 10 days, if you have a washer and dryer. I like to limit the shoes to 3 pair, sometimes 4 if it's a very flat sandal. So a going out shoe, a sneaker, a daytime sandal, and then like a little flip-flop or something. That doesn't take up enough room, so it doesn't count. And things that can do double duty. So a shirt dress that you could wear over your bathing suit, but then you could also put it on with your nighttime heel and go to dinner, right? Things like that, where you're not just wearing it one time, you can wear it multiple times in different ways, so you're not overpacking. Okay. When it comes to the kids, that's more challenging because they grow, right? So what fit them last summer doesn't necessarily fit them this spring break. So I think that's sometimes the hardest part, is having them try things on before you go, right? They don't want to. Actually, husbands often don't want to either.
They grow too.
We all do, right?
Right.
So I do like to try things on. Also, it's helpful not to have an unpleasant surprise when you're there, but it takes prior planning. Right. So, but having the kids and doing the same thing, having them try things on, think about what the activities are, and then making sure you have enough pieces for those activities.
I like the idea of a bathing suit that gives enough coverage that you feel like you can move around and play with your kids or get in the water, whatever. And then having a cover up that you also really like, so that when you're sitting, if you don't want to be just in your bathing suit, and a lot of times they're making bathing suits and cover ups that match, that are either in the same color or the same pattern or that kind of thing. So it feels very intentional. And that way, if you're sitting around and you also want to go to lunch or that kind of thing, it's just, you feel good in it. It feels a little like an up-leveled version of just a bathing suit and like your college t-shirt. I think there's a lot of different places that you can find bathing suits that feel attractive and modern and current, but still offer some coverage. So some are, I think Target does a great job with bathing suits. I think that there's a brand called Change of Scenery And she is a mom of young kids. She used to be a designer for Kate Spade and then decided to go out on her own. And literally all she does are bathing suits and cover-ups. And they are meant for women and moms. They come in 2 pieces. I think a few tankinis, but not many, and a lot of 1 pieces. And they don't feel like maybe my mom would wear it, but it doesn't feel like it. It feels a little more modern. Somersault is another brand that is making bathing suits specifically for women, and they also come in a long version. So if you have a long torso, it's a great place to check it out.
And can you believe it? She actually likes Target. This is a style expert telling us it's okay to buy our bathing suits at Target.
That's, you know what? I always look, but I don't know if I've ever bought a bathing suit from Target because I've always kind of questioned.
The kids stuff, I always think,
they're
great.
I buy a ton of kids bathing suits from there, but I don't know if I've ever looked for myself.
But I think it's smart. I mean, like she said, she gave a few different options and just sort of, whatever you feel comfortable in. But I loved her talking about, you don't want to be too skimpy, and you don't want to look like your mom or your grandmother.
Right.
So finding that in between is so important. But I love that the cover-ups are really in.
Yes.
Color coordinating could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I love those cover-ups.
I know.
Well, when it comes to packing for spring break, you can't forget the toys, especially if you're headed out with kids. So I talked to parenting expert Amanda Mushro, who shared some of the best toys. Amanda, we are heading into the very popular spring break time. And I don't know about you, but whenever I travel with my kids, there's always a mad rush to figure out how can I keep them entertained during travel. You have some advice for us this morning.
Yes, my advice is hit up the dollar section of Target or head to the dollar store, and you can find little gems that will just keep kids so entertained. So I love the little gel clings that you usually would put on your windows. They are perfect if you're flying. They can put them on the airplane window. They can use them on all over the seats. They don't leave a sticky residue. You can toss them when they're done. You can use them in the car. They're great in restaurants. And I'm also a big fan of thinking ahead and planning lots and lots of snacks that your kids aren't used to, putting them in small little bags, making it a surprise, and just sort of planning ahead and knowing maybe they're going to have a little extra treat here or there. But if it makes traveling easier, I say go for it.
Yeah. Any advice, especially airplanes? So my kids are 10 and under, and I feel like they just sit there with the screen the whole time. But any other ideas that you can share with us that don't involve like a screen, especially if it's a longer flight?
I think to give them a little bit of a screen time break, think about different games that you would play as a kid that would be entertaining, from something like tic-tac-toe. Maybe you can even just do a game where you draw something and you pass the paper over to them. They have to add to it, and then you draw to it. Something really silly. Just, different ways to keep them entertained and distracted. And, look around your house. I always say shop in your house. You might have some gifts hanging around from Christmas or their birthday, little small items that they haven't ever played with. Toss them in your bag, keep them as a surprise. And when they start getting bored or, that glazed over look from too much time on the iPad, you can pull them out of your bag.
Yeah. Now, how about for driving? Because a lot of people drive to their destinations. Sometimes it's almost a whole day in the car, if not 2 days. So what do you recommend for those long car trips?
I think you need to plan lots of breaks. And I think you need to understand that maybe if it was just you and you could just drive straight through, plan extra time. So, you might have to make stops. And again, think about those really fun games that maybe you played as a kid. My kids are obsessed with the license plate game. And this is one that you can play with younger kids. You can play it with older kids. So, kind of unplug and, give yourself a little bit of grace and know that once you get there, you're going to have so much fun, but you might need a couple extra bathroom breaks.
What do you do for the license plate game?
So we usually do where we look for every letter in the alphabet. Now, some of the letters obviously like Q, that gets a little bit tricky. So we see if we can find it on the license plate or any road sign, and we trade off different letters. I have a 4-year-old. I also have a 14 and a 12-year-old, and they all love it. It's just like a fun little letter recognition. You can also do colors. You can work as teams. You can work together. And it's surprising how much time passes as you're looking for all the letters.
Yeah, I love it. What about for the staycationers? any advice on how to even connect with your kids and maybe make some of that quality family time if you're not actually going somewhere?
You know, I think this is a great time to really just enjoy where you live and go on the adventures that maybe you don't have time for during the busy week. So, you know, search out places that you think your kids would enjoy, and even just going out for walks together. Maybe plan a special movie night where the kids pick the movie and you pop popcorn, you bring in lots of candy, and everyone just like lays on the floor and watches a movie together. It's just that quality bonding time. You don't have to travel to far places just to have this special time together. Play some board games with your kids, all the things that you wish you had time for. You know, make some of that time during spring break.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so spring break usually involves the Easter holiday. And in front of you, people are probably wondering, okay, so what do you have going on there? We're going to talk about how the Easter Bunny can bring something other than candy and sweets, because I know mine has just fallen into a rut of a lot of chocolate and a lot of jelly beans, and that could lead to a lot of cavities and a lot of sugar highs. So Amanda, if you don't mind, tell us what you think the Easter Bunny should be bringing in those baskets this year.
Yeah, so I love a little bit of candy, but if we're looking to swap it up, here's some really fun ideas. So first up, this is a great one that my kids have been playing with a lot. This is from Thames and Cosmo. This is Gecko Run. This is a Gecko Run marble set, like a marble run. And so they're going to build these different pieces to this marble run. What I really like about this is it has this nano pad, which is like a suction cup. So you stick it to the wall, but it doesn't damage the paint, doesn't damage the wall, and you can quickly and easily move the pieces. So if you put a piece down and you realize, oh, that's going to mess everything up, I need to move this. They even have extension kits. And I just think this is a fun screen-free activity. And I love that it's on the wall and not all over my floor.
Right, and it's engineering based. That's a little bit of the STEM there. I know we have something similar like in the bathtub, but to do that, I love this gift idea. And then of course that's something you could do during spring break. That's so fun.
Right. Something you can build together and try it out and test it out.
Right. What about games? I know a lot of families like to sit down and maybe, you know, whether they're on the beach taking a break from the sand and the surf, or whether they're just staycationing, a lot of families like to sit around and play some games.
Yes, so I have this really fun game. This is called the Snarkus card game, and this is from Hoot Nanny Games. It's this really fun, interactive game. It's geared towards kids 8 and up. It only takes 15 to 30 minutes to play, and it comes in this perfect size box, so if you are traveling, you can take it with you. And it has this like really cute concept where the Great Sneasel upheaval happens, and you have to find all of the gems. It takes just a few minutes to learn, lots of laughs, a quick, fun game, whether you're at home or on the go. And I love the packaging of it as well. I think it's perfect to pop it right in an Easter basket.
Yeah, and that seems like it's a good, for those who don't have long attention spans, I'm not pointing any fingers at myself, but like the 15 to 20 minute game is key, especially with little kids too.
Right, you don't want them walking off halfway through the game.
Right, getting a little bored of it. All right, for those who have longer attention spans, what about some puzzles?
So this is, excuse me, from Plus Plus. This is the Puzzle by Number. This is their 250-piece chick set. How cute is this little chick? And all of the pieces are shaped like a hashtag. And it's like a paint by number, but you're doing it with a puzzle. And when you're done, you get this adorable chick. This is one that you can do together. You can spread it out on the dining room table. Kids can kind of take it off and do their own. And then I like the idea that after they're done, then they can take it apart and they can make whatever they want. So it's perfectly themed for Easter, but it's also an activity and a toy that they're going to play with long after the Easter season.
Yeah, those have really been growing in popularity. A friend actually introduced those to me a few years ago. She actually gave them to me so that the kids were occupied on a flight, which was great because then they could make whatever they wanted. And they come up with all these different ideas and different little buildings. So I love those little puzzle pieces.
And they make 3D and 4D, and they follow the directions, or they don't have to follow directions, and it all still works out.
Right, I love it. Okay, so my kids love artwork. They love anything crafting, anything paint, but then I get so frustrated when they are like, can we paint? I'm like, oh, the mess. But you have a solution for that.
Yes, I absolutely love this one. This is from Uli. This is their chunky paint sticks. Now, when you first look at this, it kind of looks like chapstick, but it's actually this really great paint stick that dries as soon as you put it on the paper. So it's really beautiful, these pastel colors, and they just paint, and it goes right in the paper. It has like this really soft, smooth consistency. Kids can get super creative. This is another one that I really like the idea of taking this when you travel. You know, sometimes when you take little tiny crayons, they roll across the floor, they're gone forever. But this is a nice one that even the little ones can hold on to. So this is a good one for the younger kids, and the older kids can get creative, and you don't have to have the messy paint everywhere because it dries immediately.
Yeah, I love it. All right, this next item you have, now this speaks to my heart because when I was little, the Easter Bunny always brought me a bunny. That was my favorite item to get. So what you have on the table there is it's very nostalgic for me.
Yes, I love that. I mean, what Easter basket isn't complete without a sweet little plush bunny? And this one is so cute. This is Pippa, the best friend from Baba Boo and Friends. I just think she's so cute. She's got the perfect spring colors, super soft, and she also has a little cloth book attached to her. So I just think she would look so sweet and cute propped up in a little Easter basket.
Yeah. Before we let you go, Amanda, are there any other things that your family likes to do tradition-wise when it comes to Easter and spring break that you think you'd want to share with all the other families out there?
You know, I think just letting the kids have a say in what they want to do. Sometimes we get so wrapped up in, we're going to plan everything. I've got day to day to day plan, but really talk to your kids, even the little ones, and say, well, what would you want to do over spring break? And it might surprise you. And it might be to rewatch their favorite movie 300 times. It might be just, let's go on a walk, or, you know, maybe they've got a crazy idea, but letting them feel involved in whatever you're doing, whether it's home or away, will make it even more special. So, and it takes some of the pressure off of you because you know you're doing something that the kids are going to love and enjoy.
Right. I love it. Great ideas. Amanda, thank you so much for sharing all those with us. So Jenny and I are two camps here. You are spring break staycation. I am spring break. We are going to actually take a trip. So what do you have planned when it comes to like entertaining the kids and keeping them busy and juggling everything?
We laugh all the time because it's like, oh, great, a staycation. We're going to save money. Oh, we're planning to, you know, and we're planning on going here and there and there. Yeah. And it does add up. So it's sort of funny. It's like, I always wonder, could you actually save more money because you spend on hotel and airfare or whatever, but then you're on the beach and you're not really like doing a ton?
Yeah.
But I mean, we have lots of fun stuff planned for the kids. They already are talking about, we go visit the lake every year. We're probably going to do a science center. Some of the things that we don't get to do during the year because we're so busy, we actually plan it for this time. So
and I feel like you're always so crafty. I know we delve on it once in a while, but like Jenny always comes up with these really creative ideas and things to do with the kids. Do you find yourself like going to the craft store and finding something to do? Do you have a favorite activity for them? Asking for a friend here?
Yeah, well, I mean, the one thing that, you know, our spring break lines up with Easter, which is really nice. So, and I know she talked about Easter toys and stuff. So dyeing the eggs, and I kind of thought to myself, why does this only happen at Easter? I mean, you could buy it afterwards and get it on sale and dye them anytime, right? And then it's good, healthy, really like boiled eggs. My kids actually love to eat that. So that's always good for us. As far as other crafty stuff, I know like just being able to be outside and like do the sidewalk chalk and all of those things this time of year, the kites in the spring, just those toys that it's almost like they get to rediscover them as they're getting back outside and back out in the yard and stuff. So we'll plan some stuff like that. Yeah,
I liked her advice. I feel like I always struggle with like, so then when we travel, and we're going on a plane this time around, and the headphones, you know, like the kids kind of the younger kids get sick of the headphones. I mean, I love when there's the monitor on the back seat of the plane where they can watch whatever they want, but there have been a couple flights where I've walked on and gotten surprised. Maybe, I know you can check if there's in-flight entertainment and what that looks like. Never check. Right. And we've been surprised with like, Oh, there's no TV. Like, set up your iPad if you want, but sometimes the kids just, they don't want to do that.
Right.
So I liked some of her ideas with how to travel well. I still don't have any great ideas. I don't know. I still need all the ideas. I feel like that's where I fail as a parent.
No, you just hope for the best.
Only one of them anyways, but yeah, it's just.
No expert ever reminds us, the guilt. Do you want to go back here? We'll leave. We'll turn around.
Right.
You don't have to go to the beach. You don't have to go to this place,
Right. I know. Well, spring, thank goodness it's here. It's here.
Yay.
It's crazy. So we will continue our spring coverage when it comes to parenting. If you're going out on spring break, hopefully you got some good ideas to be organized and have fun. And if you're staycationing, hopefully you can be like Jenny and be a super mom and keep those kids entertained. So Jenny, thanks for getting all of the fashion advice for us.
Hey, that was really fun. She's awesome.
I know, she is great. And thanks to all of you for joining us. We'll see you right back here next time on Mom Squad.